Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Career Speaks. This week we'll be looking at refresh or rebrand. As business owner, we get to a point in our business where we know that something is actually wrong, but we don't know what to do to fix it. Yes, we know something. We are not enjoying. Maybe you're not getting the kind of patronage you used to get when you started the business. You're not getting this vibe. To you, it looks as if everything is stale. Yes, the business environment is stale. You've lost that drive, you lost that fire that you have for the business, because to you it look as if you're not getting this headway. You look as if you're not moving forward in your business, or you're not attracting the kind of clients you expect to attract, or the kind of clients that is coming into your business, they are not the kind of clients you would have loved to have in your business. Yes, there's a need for you to sit down and ask yourself this question: what do I need to do going forward? Should I do a mere refresh, or I should do a total rebrand of my business? But a lot of us are business owners, especially in this part of the world. What a lot of us do is this: we tend to say, okay, I think it's time for me to rebrand my business. Yes, a word that is commonly used. I think there's a need for me to rebrand my business. But today what we want to do is we want to take our time to really ask ourselves this question. The last time you say you want to rebrand your business, what were you doing? Are you simply refreshing your business, or you're actually rebranding your business? So in today's teaching, we'll be looking at the difference between to refresh a business or to rebrand your business. And as business owner, you need to have an understanding of these two terms so that you know which to apply at any point in time, because the one to apply will depend on the issues that you are going through in your business. If your business is going through issues that need refresh, then you know I'm going to go for refresh. If the issues, they are fundamental issues that has to do with the position, the market positioning of my business, maybe I should go for rebrand. So now, what is brand refresh? Brand refresh is simply revamping the look and the feel of your business. Yes, revamping the look and the feel of your business. You get to a point in your business that the need for you to revamp. Remember, we said something when we're discussing elements of a brand. We discussed something about brand personality. Now, and we said something that if your brand was to be a person, what kind of person will your customer be dealing with? Now, you get to a point you need to reinvent your brand. You need to refresh your brand. You need to work on the look and the feel. Remember, branding is about perception. There's a need for you to get to a point in your business where you need to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I think this experience my customers are having about my brand, I need to change it a little bit. I need to bring in something new into the system for my customer to have a whole new experience. Remember, we said something that if you are in business because of your customer, and therefore you must be concerned about the feelings that your customers have about your business, because it is these feelings they have about your business that will provoke that decision, that will enable them to choose you over your competitors when it's time for them to take that big decision. Remember, you are not in business not until your customers are ready to exchange monies for the service or the product that you have to offer. So you must be able to get to a point in your business where you ask yourself the question: what do I do? Is there the need for me to change the feelings that my customer have, the look of my business? And that's what a lot of us do most times as business owners. What we simply do is this: we just change the look of our business, and we tell our customers, come on, we are shutting down for the next 2 weeks because we want to do rebranding. But usually, most times, what we do is not actually rebranding. What we're actually doing a brand refresh. A brand refresh can even adjust the culture of your organization. It can even affect the slogan and even the services that you offer in your organization. Yes, you can also do that when you are refreshing your brand. The big question is this: at what time should a brand consider a refresh? Now, I'm going to ask 4 questions that will serve as a pointer for you to know if your business or your brand need a refresh. Number 1, do you feel embarrassed when you're handing over your business card? Yeah, remember, these are brand elements. Are you feeling embarrassed when you're handing over your business card? You know what, we all know what business card, what we call complimentary cards. Do you feel embarrassed when you're handing over your complimentary card to your customer? Now, when you started that business, because of the inavailability of enough funds for you to do what you would have wished to do, there are some things you decide to cut costs when you're doing it. Like you feel, okay, I think I should just have a simple, let me use the word simple, a business card to give to my customers. But now your brand is gaining prominence in the market. The question when you're talking to your clients, do you feel embarrassed when you are giving them your business card? That's the first question. If you are embarrassed, then you need a brand refresh. Number 2, Have you had negative feedbacks on your socials or your websites? Yeah, there's a need for you. Because when we're talking about brand refresh, this includes also looking at the website that you have for your company, because you need, remember I said something in our previous episode that your website is like the face of your organization. So you need to look at it and say, okay, this website that I have for my firm, this website that I have for my business, does it befit the kind of standard that my brand is trying to push out? What story does it tell about my brand? When people go visit my website, what is the perception they have about my website? What is the message? What is the message that my website is passing out to my customers? You need to ask yourself those questions. So if you feel embarrassed, you're getting negative comments about your website, come on, then there is a need for you to refresh your brand. Now, the next is, does your visual identity no longer fit into your brand's essence? Yes, the visual. Remember we said something about visual identity, like the logo, the color scheme, the iconography, the photography, those visual identities that make up your brand. Do they still fit into your brand essence? Remember, your brand evolves over time. And as your brand evolves over time, you should allow this visual identity to also evolve. Because if you have a brand that is not evolving, people use terms like, you must, as an individual, you must reinvent yourself. Same applies with your business. You must reinvent your business for you to fit into the times that are changing. Because you understand that, okay, this is post-COVID. Before COVID, the way you do business before COVID is quite different from the way you do businesses now. So for that reason, you must be ready to reinvent your brand. So when you're trying to reinvent your brand, you must also be ready to work on the visual identity of your brand. Yes, the visual identity of your brand, the color scheme, the logo, the iconography, the photography. You must be ready to do a refresh on these identities. Okay, the last question I'm going to ask you is this. Do you have a great brand, but you find it difficult to be able to attract top clients? Yes, a great brand, finding it difficult to attract top clients. Remember we said something that, come on, you must do a market research. You must be able to do a customer research to be able to know these persons that I'm doing this product for, what is their taste? What are the kind of things that they like? If your business is not attracting these top clients, you need to do a brand refresh. You need to do things that will enable that business to start attracting top clients. Is it not boring as a business owner that you're finding it very difficult to scale your business to a point where you begin to attract top clients? Because that is where every one of us want to get to in business. We want to start from a low level, we want to get to the uppermost top of our businesses. So it gets to a point where you're not hitting it, you're not hitting that top level. You get tired, you get frustrated, you keep asking yourself, what am I not doing right for me to get to this particular level that I aspire to get to? So if you are in that state in your business, you need a brand refresh. And a brand refresh is a new phase for brands that are fundamentally strong, but it feels stale or outdated. So what you need to do is this: you need to work on the visual identity of your brand. You need to refresh the visual identity of your brand. You need to come up with something exciting. You need to come up with things that will meet up with current market trends. If not, you might have a very strong brand, but people will not be patronizing you. Why? Because you're not keeping pace with the current market trends. Now, rejuvenating the look and feel of your brand will go a long way in injecting new life. Yes, injecting new life into your business performance and also boosting the morale of your staff. Just imagine your staff, they wake up in the morning, they discover that shabby. Remember when we discussed employer branding last week? We discussed something about working on the workplace environment. And you wake up in the morning, your staff, they wake up in the morning, they will get into the office, they discover that now there's a revamping of the workplace environment. They now have a new chair to work with. The office environment is now more conducive for them to work. Remember we said something about you turning on your lights and turning on the AC. Now they have to turn on the lights for them 24/7 while they're in the office. They have to ensure the place is well lit. They have to ensure the place is cool for them to work. It will go a long way to boost their morale in terms of working in that environment. So that's what brand refresh does. It helps in injecting new life into the business performance and also boosting the staff morale. Now, when a brand refresh cannot solve deep-seated issues in your organization or in your brand, like widespread negative perception, misalignment, or a fundamental shift in your company's positioning, what you need to opt for this time is a rebrand, as this will help with the complete overhaul of your brand. Like I did with refresh, I'm going to do with rebrand. I'm going to ask you 4 fundamental questions That's to guide you to know if you need a rebrand in your business. Number one, have you recently gone through a merger or acquisition? Like I tell people, you see these days brands tend to collaborate, come together to form a bigger brand that will be able to have a strong positioning in the marketplace. When this happens, you might just need to do a rebranding of that business. Number two, have your business strategy or model changed? You see, sometimes a business owner, when you're writing your business strategy or model before you get into the marketplace, it's fine, lovely, but when you want to implement, you discover that it might not, the way it is on paper might not be how it is on ground. Number three, do you need to dissociate your brand from a negative image? Number four, are you failing to differentiate your brand from the competition? Have you been swallowed by the competition? Because that's what we do most times. And I always advise business owners to be careful of this one. What we do most times, we get into the markets and we start copying what our competitions they are doing, what our competitors, we start copying what our competitors are doing. We do the copy and paste syndrome. You get to a point, once you keep copying, you pasting, copying, pasting, you'll be swallowed up by your competition. Then you would have lost your unique selling preposition. So you must start ask yourself this question: have I been swallowed up? Because have I lost that differentiation that I need as a brand in the marketplace? So if you've lost it, what you need to do a total rebranding. Yes, a total rebrand. This time refreshing is not going to solve this, but you need to do a total rebranding. Now, compared to brand refresh, a rebrand is a complete repositioning of your company. Rebrand is a little bit deeper than brand refresh. A rebrand is the right decision to take when your company is no longer sustainable. Yes, because what it does is this: it informs the public that there is a new strategy in place for your business. Because the problem we have as business owners is that something that is not working. It's not working. Yeah, you know that it's not working. Now you can do a refresh without a brand refresh without strategy. Yeah, you can just wake up one morning and decide to change the look of your organization, change your brand identity. That's fine. But a rebrand is way beyond this. You can't do a rebrand without a strategy. You can't do a rebrand without a research. And for you to do this, you can't even do it on your own. You, as a brand owner, you can't wake up in the morning and want to do a rebrand on your own. You need to consult a branding agency for them to assist you in this rebrand. Why? Because what use is a rebrand when at the end of the so-called rebranding, you are back to square one. It's like putting a new wine into an old bottle. Yes, putting a new wine into an old bottle. But what rebrand does is this: it's changing the bottle before putting a new wine, so that there will be a complete newness. Yes, the public will be able to perceive that there is a change in the strategy of that business. There's a change in the general outlook. Now, it is only with research. The reason why you need to contact these branding agencies is that they're going to do a lot of research on your current brand, because it's only with research that you're able to understand the current perception, both internally and externally, of your brand. It is only with research you're able to know how your customer perceives your brand currently. You can't do it alone, because why? If you as a business owner want to do this research on your own, what you do is that emotions will be in it. You know, sometimes how we react when somebody tells you, give you negative feedback about your brand. You will not be too pleased with it. Why? Because you've invested a lot, so you feel that your brand should be accepted. Yes, you should be accepted. But now they are not accepting your brand. So you need to involve a branding agency when it comes to this issue of rebranding, because they will be able to go into the market and do a research to be able to understand the current perception of the public, the current perception of the customers internally, the current perception of the customer, that's external, and the current perception of your employee and your investors, that's internal. In short, the current perception of all the key stakeholders as far as your brand is concerned. And once this is done, there might just be the need for them to work on your entire brand compass. They'll be able to check elements like the purpose, the mission, the vision, your competitive advantage, the brand promise, and so on and so forth. Now, the truth is, rebrand tend to make big waves more than brand refresh. Conclusively, if you are wondering whether your brand needs a comprehensive rebrand or simply a refresh, you are not alone. This question is tied down to the issues that your brand is facing. So before you take a decision to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I'm either going to go for refresh or I'm going to go for rebrand, you must first of all consider the issues which I enumerated above that your brand is facing. That is what will enable you to know which you opt for. Don't allow your budget to determine the one you opt for. Because like I said it is much more rebranding is much more capital intensive. Don't opt for refreshing your brand when what you actually need is a rebrand, just simply because you don't have enough capital to be able to embark on a rebrand. Like we said, a refresh is a great solution for companies that need a facelift, that needs to make their customer to experience a whole new look and feel of the brand. Yes, you can do a refresh, but if the issues the organization is facing is fundamental, it has to do with misalignment, it has to do with a widespread negative perception of your brand, you must opt for rebrand. Yes, you must opt for rebrand. Now, whichever direction you decide for your brand, but the best advice I can give to you is that you must contact a branding agency to walk you through this process. Now, if you're having issues finding the branding agency around you, just send me an email. My email address is showing on the screen, kewe.modupe@tslnigeria.com. Trust me, I'm going to recommend one for you that will help you through this process. And I can assure you that when you're done with this, you have me to thank for this. Now, this is how far we are going to go on this week's edition of Kewe Speaks. Do well to help share this video across all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even your WhatsApp status. Like I always say, you might just be helping an entrepreneur that is having difficulty scaling his or her business. Until I come your way again next week, I am Kewe Modupe and I am a brand.